When you're navigating the complicated world of real estate, you want someone you can trust holding your hand along the way. Here's just the right person and just the right program. It's the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, an advertising feature on AM 800. Here's your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team, Dan Gemus.
Hi everyone, 7:07 a.m. This Sunday, this foggy Sunday morning. The roads are extremely foggy out there. Drive carefully. I have a full studio with me today. Shawn, LeBlanc, Susan Riom, and our media guy, Andrew Paper.
Yay!
Finally, I'm here.
Finally,
I'm here.
Took you long enough.
We've invited him back.
There's only so long I could use the excuse of having a newborn for not being able to come.
Yes, she's 5.
She's
now.
9 now.
Yeah. Oh boy, so it's the roads are pretty crazy, aren't they right now?
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
I lost about 10 minutes on the drive-in. No big deal. I planned for it.
Hey, you planned for it, right?
Well, yeah, because we all came in from the county.
We did.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we sure did. Lots on the show today. We have Stephen Wilson from RBC that's going to talk to us about some recent CMHC changes. They've hiked their mortgage insurance premiums. So we'll talk about that and find out how that affects you as a buyer. And we also have a very exciting segment for Sue and I because we both have electric cars. We both have Volts.
Yes, we do.
So we're going to talk about how it affects. We have to give a real estate spin to this thing. So we have Shawn Hart coming on from WEEVA, from the Windsor-Essex Electric Vehicle Association. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about where it's going, where we see it going, how we see it working with real estate, and we have to charge our cars in our vehicles. And people often ask us if we see our electricity bills go up and that kind of thing. So we'll talk about that in the second half hour of the show as well, which is lots of fun. Everyone's had a fun week.
Yes,
Busy week?
it was great.
Busy.
Yeah, well, the weather, you never knew it was coming up, and
Yes.
they put the kids on the bus and all that kind of stuff. So if you squint, you could think it was spring.
And a PD day. Did
yeah.
Brett have PD days on
Yeah.
Friday too?
Yeah,
A week
There was-
after Christmas, really?
really.
But
Yeah.
oh well, it's needed.
They needed
Sure.
it.
They need it. But
I can kind of defend them because I'm married to a teacher, so I
Yes.
can kind of defend them a little bit there.
all right.
Well, it's just a smart thing to do, or you're going to start vacuuming.
It's the bravest thing to do, Sue.
Speaking of which, there's a birthday on the team.
Yes, it's Bethany's birthday, my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Bethany. I know she's
Oh, yeah.
definitely not listening.
Yeah,
but,
she's probably sleeping.
She'll be still fast asleep, and hopefully the kids haven't woken her up just yet.
Yeah.
But
Happy birthday,
happy
Mommy.
birthday. Yeah, I guess I'm going to stop
Wow.
at the gas station on the way home and find a present for her.
22 years old this year. Fantastic.
Is it a bag of licorice again this year, Andrew?
Yeah.
Half a bag of licorice.
Oh,
I ate half of them on the way
I
home.
opened it just to make sure it was fresh. Because sometimes when you get them at the gas station, they're stale.
So Andrew has a new workspace at the office.
I do. I've
Yes.
been banished upstairs.
We picked
I
him
know.
upstairs.
Still haven't adjusted to it.
Oh.
There's a bar up there.
Yeah, there is a bar
Yes.
up there. Yeah, there's a bar, a shower, 2 bathrooms.
See, it's okay, now,
One bathroom that works.
It's
One
the
bathroom
old.
that works.
For
Yeah.
people who don't know, our office is based out of Amherstburg. We're the old Amherst Hotel. So when we bought the building, we renovated the whole main floor. Rosa's is on one side of the building, Rosa's restaurant, and we're on the other side. And we renovated our whole the whole main floor. And then upstairs is a work in progress. That's going to be, there's 2 floors up there that were the old hotel.
Yeah, wasn't it the
Years-
old, there was like a banquet hall up there? Was it the old banquet
Yes,
hall
where you're sitting is the old banquet hall
Yeah.
that the restaurant used even a few years ago.
Yeah.
And the rest is all just studs, and it's a big
There's a stud up there
project. Yes, there's a stud up there now. Yes,
Half a
oh,
stud.
boy, half
Wow.
a stud.
Yeah.
But yes, that's a big project that we have to eventually tackle
Yeah.
as the team keeps on growing. But we just figured, you know what, this is a good space upstairs, this old banquet hall for a studio slash.
It's perfect.
now. Just get rid of me.
We
Yeah.
No, see, Andrew, when I started, Andrew and I sat next to each other, and
We
then
did.
then you bought the new building,
Yeah.
and then we continued to sit next to each other, but at opposite ends of
we're
the
just sitting. You know what,
room.
Andrew's distracting everybody. Let's just get him out of here.
Yeah.
Then I lost
upstairs.
Andrew.
Dan just said, "Where do you want to get away from Sue? Because we can put you upstairs."
Yes, so put you as far
like,
away as
okay.
possible.
Okay, so I won't be talking for the hour,
Yeah.
and you've won. You've all won.
That is a promise Sue won't be able to keep.
So yeah, it's been it's been our running joke because that building was built in, I think, 1884, in the original part of the building. And so when I purchased that building back, it was October of 15. The second that the news got out, they did an article in the paper, etc., etc. I started getting bombarded by people calling, messaging, emailing, Facebooking, saying, Dan, you are aware that building is haunted, right?
So cool.
And so, we asked Andrew if he's experienced anything, and
No,
nothing yet.
I have not experienced anything abnormal yet.
So I say,
anything
Yet.
unusually abnormal doesn't usually happen up there.
So me and Shawn were saying, one of these days we'll have Andrew working late, and him and I we'll figure something out to make sure that Hazel comes back.
Oh yeah.
We've named our ghost
Yeah, it's
Hazel.
supposed to be Hazel. Yeah.
None of us have ever met her or
Nope.
heard from her, but
No.
we've named her Hazel.
And I'm usually the only one there working late on my own
Yes.
upstairs.
When I'm in there sometimes on the weekend.
5 o'clock is late.
Oh yeah, you can.
5 to 5.
Well, I'm just on the main floor. I have no reason to go upstairs, right?
Yes, you do.
But
Come see
sometimes-
me.
Oh.
No, when I'm not there. No,
I have
like when
no
no one
reason
else
to go
is there after regular business hours, and I can see through the corner of my eye every now and again. I'll see a shadow.
Yeah.
Well, when we first bought the building, we started renovating. We gutted it to the studs on the main floor, and I'll never forget. I could not. If we go at night, I couldn't go upstairs by myself. It is creepy up there. It's creepy, right? And so I wouldn't. You have your light and your flashlight on your phone.
Yeah.
And I could not go upstairs by
I
myself.
can't wait. One day I'm
So-
going to set it up and stand in one of those rooms and just tap you on the shoulder.
Well, it's not as bad as our old office. It was formerly a house, which we turned into commercial, and there was the tub and shower in that bathroom. And Andrew, let's tell people what you thought of that.
Well, I have an issue with shower curtains.
With shower curtains.
I always have to open the shower curtain to see who's behind it because I had a bad experience when I was younger. That someone scared the life out of me when I went to the bathroom. So every time I went to the bathroom, I had to pull the shower curtain.
So is that what you do at everyone's homes?
Everyone's.
Every time you're somewhere,
Yep.
you have to pull the
I
shower curtain back.
if the shower curtain is drawn across, I have to check to make sure no one is there to scare the life out of me. It's my brother's fault. It's my brother's fault. He scared me.
You really did.
So now I do the same to Jack.
Yeah.
That's why we used to, that we'd go into the bathroom and the shower curtain was gone. We're like, where's the shower? It's kind of weird.
It's
Shower
been
curtain's
thrown
gone.
away. There's no need for the shower curtain.
Oh boy, we intend this week on starting some interviews. So we've put out a job posting. We're growing our media department.
We are.
And Andrew can, we figured Andrew needs a friend.
Yeah,
So
I'm upstairs on
Not
my
Hazel.
own.
Upstairs by
alone.
Other than
himself.
Hazel.
I need to.
we're just
He's been in contact with a human.
Yeah, the team has been so busy, and we're looking to do so many exciting things that we figured it was time to double our media department. And why don't you tell people what we're looking for?
So we're really looking to kind of clone me. So we
Well.
need someone that can that's familiar with video, someone that's familiar with photography,
Someone who likes ice cream.
someone that loves
Yes.
ice cream, someone that doesn't like to be watched over his shoulder
Yes.
by Shawn. So we really need to find someone that's confident with video, confident with photography, web design, graphic design, audio production. So it's a challenge, but there's definitely people out there. There's definitely there's lots of capable
Some
people
great
out
resumes,
there.
yeah.
There's some great resumes. So hopefully we're going to speak to some more people this week.
Yeah.
And see what comes of that.
Cool.
But, look forward to expanding the department and looking forward to what we can produce this year.
Lots of expansion on the team. Doobie's Home Center. We're also hiring a kitchen and bath designer there too. So that's exciting there too. That's expanding, and we're about a month away from having everything done at Doobie's in Amherstburg. Adding cabinetry, windows, doors, trim, plumbing fixtures, so your tubs, your toilets, your sinks, your faucets. I'm
It's
forgetting all kinds
shaping
of
up
things.
really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's coming together. It's looking good.
it's great. So lots of exciting things. But Shawn had family night last night.
Yeah, we
For game night.
we asked the kids what they wanted to do, and we said, how about we play some games? So we went to the dollar store, and we bought. We spent about $20 just on nonsense stuff.
Yeah.
So we had a couple bags of Skittles. So one by one, they had to sort the Skittles into cups.
So it's like minute to win it type games.
It's basically like minute
Yeah.
to win it games. And my son is very much like me. He hates to lose. So we put some.
What's Brody 6?
Brody's 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brooklyn's
he-
12ish?
Brooklyn's 12.
Yeah.
So physically they're about the same, but mentally she just dominates him. And when she wins, she just like,
Rubs
she
in his
rubs it
face.
right in his
Oh,
face.
it's the best part.
That's the best way.
And he just cannot, he can't take a loss, and he can't congratulate somebody on winning. He's the first person to come up with an excuse as to why why
Is he
he
a
felt
Patriots fan?
cheated. Yeah, he's exactly or a Cowboys fan. He blamed every loss was on the refs for some reason. So we played that last night. The kids and us and Tanya, we had a lot of fun. It was good. It was a good little cheap way.
Did you and Tanya
to-
play too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's no
Okay.
video of.
I was gonna say, where's that video?
No. It was just me in Tanya's face laughing at her because I beat her.
Oh. Oh.
But
I don't
no,
know
we-
where he gets it from, your
Yeah,
son, Brody,
I can
then.
imagine.
But yeah, for just like $20, we played for
fun little
about
night.
2 hours. We had fun.
Cool.
They had a good time. I mean, it was we said let's go to the movies, but that would have been like $80.
Oh god, easy, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's spend less money and have way more fun.
How exciting! Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Stephen Wilson from RBC about some recent changes. Okay, lots more coming, and we have that, and we have Shawn Hart from WEEVA. Okay, later on in the hour. Lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Welcome back to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, AM 800. Here's your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team, Dan Gemus.
Welcome back to the show. Now, it seems like in the past year there's been so much happening. Sue, with the mortgage industry, the banks are changing everything. CMHC is making lots of changes. Seems to be going on and on and on.
It seems like they're trying to slow down the market if
Yes.
they can and control it more,
Well,
right?
I get it. It makes sense, right? Well, CMHC has recently announced some changes, and on the phone with us right now is Stephen Wilson. He's a mortgage specialist with the Kyle Lucier RBC mortgage team. Hi, good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dan. I'm good. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course, great to have you. So why don't we start by telling the listening audience, what is CMHC?
Well, CMHC is a crown corporation, so it's owned by Canadians, and it's one of three companies which provide default insurance in Canada. And default insurance basically covers the lender in the case a borrower defaults on a mortgage, so that the borrower doesn't lose any money.
Yep.
Right. The default insurance is required whenever you have to put less than 20% down on a purchase transaction. So the larger the down payment you put, the smaller the fee that you end up paying to CMHC.
Okay. Now, so what have they just announced? They just announced some changes. What are those changes they've announced?
Well, they've done a few different changes, but the most recent one is that they're increasing the fees that they charge for default insurance. So if you're putting 5% down, they're going to increase the fee that you pay from 3.6% all the way to 4%
Wow.
for a 5% down transaction.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's
It's rare to see it over 4, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, are we expecting that to be affect buyers that much?
It doesn't have a huge impact on them. In our market here, a typical mortgage is around maybe $200,000.
Yep.
That translates into about a $5 a month increase in their mortgage payment in order to cover the larger CMHC fee.
Okay. You mentioned that there are some alternatives to CMHC as well that lenders have access to. Tell us about those.
Well, basically, when you put less than 20% down, you have to go through one of three default insurance companies. So you have Genworth as the other one that does quite a bit of business, and the third one is Canada Guarantee. Now, Genworth has also announced that they're going to be increasing their fees as well, and all of these fee increases are happening as of March 17th, by the way. So if you are able to get yourself in to pre-approve for a mortgage, find a home, make an offer, and get things done before March 17th, you can avoid paying the higher premium to CMHC or Genworth.
Okay.
Alternatively, of course, if you can put 20% down or more on your purchase, you won't have to pay any default insurance at all.
Which is obviously. So do you in the last few years, has there been a shift? Do you see things trying to shift to the private industry at all, to the Genworth and over CMHC, or it seems like CMHC's been trying to squeeze their capacity a little bit?
Well, I think that we have seen some other players come into the marketplace. I mentioned Genworth as a private insurer. There's a third one now called Canada Guarantee. Now, they haven't announced whether they're going to increase their premiums either. However, I would expect them to fall in line and charge the same as CMHC and Genworth. So generally, the responsibility here is on Canadians for the most part, because CMHC does about 80% of the business in the marketplace. And unfortunately, you have to go through one of those three companies in order to buy a home with less than 20% down. It's federally mandated.
Steve, it's Sue, and I just wanted to ask you, it looked like when you got up to the 20%, let's say you had 18% down, it looked like they had increased the premium more from what they originally had. So the bigger jump in the premiums from the original were erring on the side of how giving you less of a benefit, right? So you're saying I'm going to put more down, but now CMHC's increased the premium a little bit from what it was. Is that right?
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, normally the larger the down payment, the smaller the premium. However, the increases that have happened just recently have affected the 10% down and 15% down areas even more than they've affected the 5% down area. And I think this is in response to new government rules that came out from the Office of Superintendent of Financial Institutions. They came out with some policies that require companies to have stricter capital requirements. So they got to hold back more money to make sure they have funds available for claims. And because they've done this in all cases, it's resulting in higher premiums across the board.
Now, before we let you go, Steve, and this is probably completely off topic, but now that we've got some changes politically across the border, are we anticipating any effects here with the mortgage industry from our side?
That's a great question. It really is a little bit of a mystery as to what exactly is going to happen. What we've seen already, though, is interest rates spiking up from their historic lows. As soon as Trump was elected back in November, we saw interest rates go up about 0.4 to almost 0.5% in almost all terms. And this is a result of the markets trying to anticipate what Trump's going to do with his economic policies. Most recently, Trump was saying that he's going to spend a lot of money on infrastructure. He's going to reduce income taxes in the U.S. That's going to flood the market with extra funds and could result in some inflation. And whenever there's inflation, the Federal Reserve is going to try to combat that by raising interest rates. Now, ultimately, that's had an effect here immediately. So we saw rates go up in November, but they've kind of stabilized, and we still don't know exactly what's going to happen to Canada. If the economic policies in the U.S. that Trump puts into place, slows the economy down here in Canada, then that can result in interest rates staying low for the foreseeable future.
Interesting. Well, it'll be fun to watch what happens this coming year, Steve. As always, thank you for all your help. You've been fantastic, and we look forward to chatting with you lots more in the future.
Absolutely, Dan.
Thanks, Steve. Bye-bye. That's Stephen Wilson, a mortgage specialist with RBC. So that's, isn't that interesting?
I always find it interesting and to track it and to see what the trends are.
Do you miss the mortgage business? Sue,
I loved it.
Sue worked with RBC prior to coming to the team. So.
Yeah. I do. I love. It's very helpful whether you're a buyer or a seller.
Yeah, sure.
Because it gives you that edge, right?
Yeah.
So no, I love it. I love to stay in tune with it and up to date.
Well, it'll be fun to see what happens this coming year, and we'll follow it closely, and we'll talk about it more on the show. Before we've got 3 minutes. Do you have some silly days of the year you wanted to mention?
Oh, it's always interesting, right? When you come into the office and they say, "Oh, did you know that today was so-and-so of a day?"
Whatever
really?
day, yeah.
Are you kidding me? And then you can get these cards with it and so on and so forth. So yesterday, just so you know, if you missed out, it was Squirrel Appreciation Day. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Squirrel Appreciation Day.
Okay, well, that's nice.
I didn't run over any squirrels
I
yesterday.
was just thinking to myself, right? And then we have upcoming over the next few weeks, we have Peanut Butter Day.
Ooh.
Yep. So
Not celebrated in any school.
No.
Oh, guess what's on the 27th, Dan? You're going to love this.
Tell me.
Chocolate Cake Day.
I don't
Nikki,
like
I know-
sweets.
So that's a
Nikki
day
will
off for
be,
everyone in the office, right?
You could be making that, yeah.
National
Dan
holiday.
won't be in today.
Yeah.
It's National Cake Day.
Or just some of the silly days. Oh, this is great. Oh, it's a Tim and Sue Day. Opposite day.
Opposite day.
No, it's red. No, it's black. No, it's white. No, it's gray.
We had to pull away because for I think I talked about it last week on the show. We had Secret Santa in our office, and Courtney was my Secret Santa, and she got me a bag full of candy and chocolate bars and
right,
sweets.
yep.
Well, it lasted about 5 minutes in my office before I ate half of it. So I had to just get rid of the rest of it, and I put it in the office. And it lasted about a week. I was actually surprised at how long it lasted.
I think it's gone, right?
No,
it's
there's
gone
still
now.
a bag of Skittles there.
Is there?
I'm
I'm
waiting
okay.
for someone to open it so I can get in on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no one wants to be the first one to open them.
no,
I don't
Between-
eat
They're rude.
Skittles.
Between that and Sean's gumball machine that's full of M&Ms in the
gosh.
office.
all I hear.
Was full of
Was full.
M&Ms.
it's half empty.
I don't know who ate that.
Or half,
I can
or
tell
half
you.
full.
I see
Can
him
you?
go all by my office. I don't though. I've only done it once.
Yeah, right.
Seriously, swear.
I don't believe
Honest.
Let's
Okay,
check
whatever.
the
We'll check the camera feed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy.
Whatever. I'm over you.
Well, we are. Yeah, Sue's over us. In the next segment, we're going to talk about quite a fun topic, and Sue and I have been talking about this for a long time because we both have electric cars. We both have Chevy Volts.
Yep.
But we're going to talk with Shawn Hart from WEEVA, from the Windsor-Essex Electric Vehicle Association, about electric cars and where he sees the market going and how it's affecting, I guess where we're seeing it happening and going in Windsor-Essex, because I'm noticing them more and more now.
Oh, yeah. It's yeah, and everyone takes a second look at them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you're driving, it's kind of like the little, appreciation nod.
I've had people literally in parking lots ask me if they could sit in the car. And yeah.
I just get phone numbers.
Really?
I know. I still got
Does Tim
it.
know? So we'll talk with Shawn Hart in the next half hour right after this on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Here's Dan Gemus, your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team.
Welcome back to the show. A full studio with us this morning. Susan Realm, Shawn LeBlanc, and Andrew Paper, all from the Dan Gemus team. And now we have our special guest, Shawn Hart. He's the founder and chair of the Windsor-Essex Electric Vehicle Association, WEEVA. Good morning, Shawn. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Great to be here.
Good to have you with us today. So why don't you tell folks, what is WEEVA?
WEEVA, or the Windsor-Essex Electric Vehicle Association, is really a group of electric vehicle owners in the Windsor-Essex area.
Okay.
So a number of, we've got 84 members, all drive some kind of plug-in car.
Yep.
And we're really here to support electric vehicle ownership in the area.
Okay. And why did you start it?
Well, when I got my electric car, it was very early in electric cars. I didn't know any other electric car owners, and I wanted a way for electric car owners to get together to be able to share tips, share news. It's still a bit of a niche, so it's great for electric car owners to be able to share information.
It's been fun because Sue and I both drive a Chevy Volt. You drive a Nissan Leaf?
That's right, yeah.
And it's absolutely true. It really is. It's like bikers, right? When you drive by and you wave and you say hello, it's the same type of thing.
Yes.
And Sue has you guys
respect.
have a motorcycle too, don't you?
Yes,
you
we do.
And so it's the same type of thing. When you see another Volt driver, another electric car driver, it's like, oh hey, how are you? What's going on?
Yeah.
What kind of momentum have you seen happening locally?
It's growing. I think it's slower here than maybe some other regions, but it's definitely growing. We see membership in WEEVA increase every month. There's always new members joining up, and just looking for them on the road. Once you have an electric car, I'm sure you know you start seeing them everywhere, right? So you see them on the road, and we're seeing a lot more of them. So it's definitely growing in our region.
Any estimates as to how many electric cars there are in Windsor-Essex? Have you talked to dealerships at all, or?
I was able to get a number of electric cars qualify for a rebate from the Ontario government, right? So I was able to get a number of the amount of rebates that have been applied for in our area, and it was about 150 as of November.
Okay.
So it's probably somewhere a little bit over that. I'm thining somewhere between 150, 170.
I think that's about to take huge steps in the coming couple of years with the Bolt coming out, and with there's a lot of media attention right now with electric cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one of the biggest points and questions that people always ask, is the vehicle's price, because I know since I've had the Volt, people assume that it's a $70,000-$80,000 car, and they don't realize that really by the time everything was taken into account and the government incentive was taken off, it was like a $30,000 car. And so people often get surprised as to how affordable they are. Yeah. Really. And the Leaf is pretty affordable too, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get into a Leaf for under $30,000. So yeah, they range in price. I mean, you can get electric cars new for in the low 20s.
Yes.
People there is that misconception that they're these very expensive cars. People know the Teslas, which are which are closer to $100,000. Yeah. So, but yeah, they can be quite affordable.
And you get the upgraded package, and with our car, I know, like you could get a Bose stereo. There was beautiful leather seats, nice high quality leather seats.
Sure.
Yeah. Everything comes with it, so you're not compromising on anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they tend to come very well equipped.
Where do you see the industry going as a whole? So again, we have lots happening in the coming years, and we were just at the auto show. The team went on what day was that, John? It was
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. And a lot of the displays are based on electric cars. The technology coming up. Where do you see it going? You follow pretty closely, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think at this point, most manufacturers have admitted that they see the future of the car as electric.
Yes.
Right? And you can see that when you look at the auto show, you see that in all the concept cars tend to be electric. And it's amazing how many models of electric cars there are out there already, right? Every manufacturer, if you go to the auto show, virtually every manufacturer has some form of plug-in option, right? So you see things like the Ford Fusion has a plug-in option. Mercedes had a number of plugins. BMW had plugins. Basically, every manufacturer has them available now, right? So it's increasing. The choices are increasing. Very excited to see, for example, the plug-in hybrid minivan, the Pacifica.
Yeah.
That looks like a great car. That'll be a great option for people. So there are many more choices already than there were a few years ago, and those choices are just going to increase.
And there are, you mentioned the hybrids and the plug-in hybrids versus the Leaf, and the Volt has got its own segment as well, because the Volt is electric car. It's got a backup generator as a motor.
Yeah.
The Leaf is all electric.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have the hybrids, which always use the gasoline motor, but then you start having your brakes are helping regenerate and
Right.
for the most part in membership, what are most people driving in the as the WEEVA members?
The Volt is definitely the most popular in our region. So by far more Volts than anything else.
Yeah.
We do have a number of Tesla owners in the membership as well. A number of Nissan Leaf owners, but we have a range. We have a bunch of Fords, Mitsubishi, Kia, Smart, so Hyundai. So there's a lot of options. And
How far does the Leaf go on a charge?
mine's an older model. It will go on a good day up to about 150 kilometers on a charge.
Oh, okay.
The newer model Leafs will go further up to about 200 kilometers. Or
Okay. That's really good. We're probably getting on our Volts, I don't know,
75.
in the winter.
Oh, in the winter,
probably 50-ish
Yeah.
kilometers on our charge. In the summer, 70, 75, 80 if we're driving really good.
Yeah, for me in the winter, it's closer. It's closer to 100, maybe about 110 right there.
Yeah, it goes down.
I get
But-
about a half a day of work on
Yeah.
it, so it's good.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Which is actually good though too, because when I took it to my mechanic for an oil change at like 80,000 kilometers.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Just
every 2 years you get an oil
yeah,
change. like a
yeah,
Volt,
right. No, because every now and again you should run through,
Yeah.
right, and go kick over to gas or
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
So that worked out pretty good because I get 50% use on it with all the driving I do. So really, it's really helpful.
It's and I'm not on the road anymore like I used to be. So but I bought my car. I've had it almost 3 years, and I have used 600 liters of gasoline in 3 years. So that's about 10 tanks on a regular car,
Right.
over 3 years. And so it's pretty cool. So you've probably used a bit more. You're on the road.
Yeah, you better check
Nonstop.
that number for me.
But-
Yeah, but I'll definitely a lot more.
Oh, yeah,
what
you've
are you at,
checked it out
Sue?
more.
Because you
For
drive
kilometers?
you drive a ton.
Yeah.
Kilometers, I just kicked over 80,000 and I got it 2 years ago. Yeah,
I'm at 50. I'm at 52,000.
So what would
something
you
like
spend on gas a week then?
just 30. Well, maybe $30, maybe.
Okay.
that. Yeah, because our tank,
Yeah.
like our tank's only 30 liters, so I can fill my tank with high octane with
Yeah. Premium.
premium gasoline, and it's $35 to fill a tank,
Yes.
and that will take us 600 plus kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Volt, you can drive on gasoline only if you want to forever. So you can drive as far as you want on gasoline, but the benefit is for you can use just 50 kilometers if you're going 50 kilometers to work or back. You can never use gasoline. In the winter, it kicks on a little bit. The engine kicks on to warm up or do whatever.
To supplement.
Yeah. But the Leaf is just solely electric.
Yeah, that's great about the options that are out there, right?
Yes.
So if you do a lot of driving, a Volt is a great option because you can have that gasoline backup.
Yep.
So for me, I commute basically 100 kilometers every day, and the Leaf does what I need it to do
Yep.
on all electric. So I don't need to worry about gas. I just plug in when I get home from work, and it charges overnight, and so I can do what I need to do just with a pure electric car. I don't need that gas backup.
The government, when I purchased my car, had rebates, and it still has rebates now, and they've improved it a little bit better. Can you tell people about the rebates that are available?
Yeah, so the rebates are as long as the car has above a certain battery size, which nowadays most of them do, they'll give you a rebate up to 30% of the base price of the car to a maximum of $14,000.
Right.
Wow.
So the rebates tend to be in the range of $10,000 to I think maybe one might qualify for the full $14,000,
Okay.
but they tend to be in that range. They do have a limit, so again, one of the misconceptions is these rebates are all going to the rich people, right?
Yep.
They do have a limit for cars over $75,000. It's capped at $3,500. So the Tesla Model S, or Model X will only get $3,500 rebate.
Sorry, Stu.
Whatevs.
Yeah. Could you imagine? I would love to have a Tesla, but
yeah,
it's not happening anytime
Well,
soon.
Tesla has a self-driving battery-operated car, don't they? Does anybody know?
I think all their cars they're adding the software, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they have that autonomous driving or what do they call it? Autopilot.
Autopilot, yeah.
Yeah, well, Clark Howard from AM800's afternoon show, he has one. And he said the first time that he drove one, he said he just took it right on the highway and said, you know what, I'm just going to, nip
press
it in
the
the
button.
bud right
Yeah.
away. And he said, for about the first 5 minutes or something like that, he said, I was really nervous. And then after that, nothing. He said people, get pretty freaked out when they get in the car.
No doubt.
Yeah, on a self-drive. Yeah. He said he likes.
So Windsor-Essex has some free charging stations, spread around a little bit. I'm familiar with the one at
There's one in
the
LaSalle.
Outlet Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Windsor
the Outlet Mall.
Crossing,
Windsor Crossing.
the aquatic center.
Yep.
There's one there. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a few scattered. They tend to be at businesses. Some businesses have them. Like there's one of the collision places has one. A few of the solar companies have them in their parking lots.
Who knows a lot about collisions, right? So? No.
Well, we're gonna find out, aren't we? No, but and it runs off the app, right, Shawn?
Yeah,
like you have an app
there's a
for
few
it.
different apps.
Yeah.
One of the common ones called PlugShare. It's like a crowdsource. People can put charging stations when they discover them. So there's ways of finding charging stations. Yeah.
Cool. And there's various charging levels, the charges, right? So there's level 1, 2, 3. Tell people about the differences there.
Yeah, so all plug-in cars come with with the car is the level 1 charging, which is just a regular wall outlet that you would have at home. So any car can plug into a 110 volts and charge that way. That tends to be quite slow to charge a car that way. Level 2 is a 240 volt, and that's what most electric car owners will get in their at their home in their garage. Will be that level 2 240 volt charging, which can normally charge a car at a reasonable speed. And then level 3 is really infrastructure. It's equivalent to a gas station model where it's a high powered DC charger that can charge up a car normally in about half an hour.
You can't get that at home, can you?
You
That'd
can't.
be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, if you have the money,
you
I
imagine?
suppose.
Shawn, do you know if you can get that?
You'd have to
probably have
probably-
a big panel.
I'm thinking you'd have to have at least a 200 amp service at your house, and
At
then you'd
least.
have to probably put like a pony box with like a 60 amp something on it.
Yeah.
It'd have to be pretty powerful.
Yeah,
That'd
the
be
ones,
awesome.
the public ones you get are 500 volts,
Ooh.
100 amps.
Ooh.
So yeah, they're pretty pretty hefty.
That wire be warm.
Yeah.
The garage wall be all.
I'm warming my sandwich. I'll be right back.
So
boy.
we're actually getting the level 3. We're getting the first one in southwestern Ontario will be installed at the Essex Arena.
Get out.
Yeah, they're just starting to work on that right now. So
We'll have to just start
looking
making
forward
trips to
that.
Essex Arena just to
just to
just to
check
test it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk more about charging our cars at home, and we'll talk about how it's affected our electricity bills. Okay, because there's a few of us here with electric cars. We can talk about that too. Okay, lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Here's your host and broker owner of the largest real estate team in Windsor-Essex, Dan Gemus.
Welcome back to the show. We're talking with Shawn Hart, the founder and chair of the Windsor-Essex Electric Vehicle Association, and let's get into some fun questions that we often get about our electricity bills and that kind of thing. And actually, I see Shawn actually brought his electricity bill with him,
I did.
because people often ask us, "Well, okay, fine, you're not paying for gas, but you must be paying a fortune
Right.
in electricity." What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's another misconception, I guess, is there's a lot of discussion about how expensive electricity is in Ontario, and that's true. However, when it comes to driving a car, it's far cheaper to drive on electric than on gas.
Yes.
So I brought my last electric bill from last month.
Yep.
And it was $176.
Okay.
And I live in a 4-bedroom raised ranch,
Yep.
normal size home.
Yep.
2 kids, so we use a fair bit of electricity. But that's including charging my car, commuting 100 kilometers a day, and charging my car every day. So it doesn't go up a huge amount.
I haven't noticed a single
Me
change
either.
in my bill. Well, obviously the typical Ontario changes, the prices are going up, but I haven't noticed a difference in my electricity bill.
No, even
since-
prior. Like we've had it. Well, you've had yours for 3 years, and
Yeah.
I've had mine for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even noticeable.
Yeah, I tell people your costs will go down by about by 3 basically. It's a third the cost to drive on electricity compared to gas.
Yep.
So I'd worked out. I was looking at gas prices yesterday.
Yeah.
And per kilometer it costs between 2 cents to 3 cents to drive on electricity, where it costs like 6 to 8 cents to drive on gas.
Okay.
So it is significantly cheaper. And the nice thing about driving on electricity, so we talk about electricity prices going up, but they don't go up on long weekends, right?
No.
I wake up every morning
Just during the day.
well,
Just peak hours,
but
which is ridiculous.
it's going to be the same every
yes,
day, right?
yeah, yeah.
So it's like gas prices. You never know what they're going to be, and you sometimes you feel like you're being gouged a little bit on the gas prices,
Yeah.
but at least electricity prices, they're always the same.
Yeah.
At least month to month, right?
Which is a good point.
Yeah. So it's nice waking up in the morning and you hear about the gas prices and you don't really have to worry about it.
No. So people have the option, and this is our real estate take on this interview. Try to,
Imagine
how
that.
can I make this make sense? So you can install chargers at home.
Yeah.
Tell people about that and how that works.
Yeah. So getting a level 2 charge station at home is fairly straightforward.
Yeah.
It's basically like running a circuit for an oven.
Yep.
It's the same. It's 240 volts, 40 amps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fairly straightforward thing to do. What I recommend to people, if you are building a house, which I did, our house we built in 2009, and I had a 240 volt circuit put in the garage
Yep.
right when it was being built,
Yep,
just for the future, right? So even if you don't have an electric car or you're not thinking about getting an electric car anytime soon, the chances are there will be a plug-in car of some type in your future. So, now when you're building a house is a good time to put that circuit in your garage.
We're building in the near future, and I know that we've already talked about putting 2 circuits for electric cars. 'Cause, we'll eventually both
Absolutely.
have electric cars. We're prepping for a solar panel installation on our roof for future as well. When that time comes, that's all going to be happening. You have to prep.
You have to think ahead.
You have to think ahead.
Yeah.
What else before we let you go? Anything else you want to mention with the group? Any meetings coming up? Do you guys meet up with the group at all? Typically have.
We don't have regular meetings, but we do try and do periodic get-togethers and just chat. But we look for opportunities to do public events where we can kind of share our knowledge and let people see the cars and that type of thing. Last year, we had a really good time participating in the Windsor Earth Day event.
Yes.
So we'll probably do that again this year. So that will be in April. It's some point in April.
Yeah.
So apart from that, we do have an annual car show that we do as well. Last year it was in September.
Cool.
So we'll look to do that again this year.
Fantastic.
But yeah, other than that, just things as they come up.
People can find more information at weeva.ca. That's WEEVA.ca. Shawn, always great to have you. Thank you so much.
Great to be here. Thanks for
We
having
look
me.
forward to having you on again. That's Shawn Hart. He's the founder and chair of the Windsor-Essex Electric Vehicle Association. Thank you as always, Shawn.
Thanks.
So before we go, we have some listings that we want to mention. Shawn?
Yes, we have our beautiful new car wash. Not so new. It was established in 1924,
Yes.
the oldest
But
car
they've
wash.
updated since then.
Yes,
Yes.
it has had some serious breakthroughs in technology. So they've spared literally no expense as far as the car wash goes. But it's a full functional car wash.
It's
They have
speedy.
Speedy Auto Wash on Langlois. I'm sure everyone's familiar with it.
Yeah.
They are just full service, so they do detailing, they do all kinds of custom stuff. So it's not just one of these places where you pull in. I mean, it's a full service auto wash, so you're getting a lot more.
That's
than...
my kind of auto wash.
Absolutely.
Just pull up and clean it all for me.
Dan
Just-
Gemus is
here's
in the
the,
building.
here's the keys. Clean up this mess that the kids left, and go on. So yeah, that one's up and ready to go. So we're looking forward to seeing where that goes for sure.
Okay. What else? Anything else coming
Well,
up?
we sold all our listings last
know,
week,
it's a-
so
it's
we're,
a good-
the
good
cupboards
problem
are
to have.
bare. We need some more.
The cupboards
Yes.
are bare.
Look at that. And do you want to mention Front Road as well?
Oh yes, so 2122 Front Road. It's the beautiful log cabin with that iconic red roof.
Yes.
It is definitely available. The weather's getting nicer, so We're starting to get a lot more traffic, people kind of being able to see all the aspects of the outside of it. But, it's got just 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's got a huge property, 587 feet of depth.
Wow.
And it's literally right on Front Road. It's right on the water. It's beautiful property.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sue, anything
Great.
coming up?
Oh, I have this wonderful place on Point Peely, 1026 Point Peely. Oh my gosh, it's such a lovely place. When we get calls on it, people ask, "Is it a cottage?" And actually, no, it's a beautiful home. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, and it's right on the waterfront. So it's steps. You open your sliding doors, and you can be right on the beach. It's incredible. It actually reminds me of when you go to the Caribbean, right?
Yes.
It's a little cool today, but no, actually, it's warm today.
I was going to say, yeah. Not that bad.
But yeah, so it's not Caribbean 365, but it just shows beautifully. It's people, again, when they come in from out of town, it's a great value. So if you're coming in from Toronto or whatever, or, if you just want to have a place at the cottage, you can use it as the garage can also be used for a bunkie, so you can get some extra sleep space on that too. But it just shows beautifully. And the video that Andrew did over there,
Yes.
the our Matterport video is. Oftentimes we'll hear, well, the photos aren't really what the house is. This one truly is.
That's awesome.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Lots of great stuff happening out Kingsville Leamington Way too, which is great, right? Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll wrap up the show right after this, right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Here's Dan Gemus, your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team.
Okay, there we go. That's our show for today. Thank you for joining us.
It was nice to have those guests.
It was very nice to have you guests.
Enjoyed it.
I
Learned
love
a
the
lot.
guests. It's nice having Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Am I a
once
guest?
in a while. Well,
I don't know if I'm
Well,
a guest
since you
or not.
moved to the second floor, you are.
Yeah.
I barely know you
Yes.
anymore.
That's a nice little
I know.
treat
Andrew
to see
who?
you. Yeah. Andrew, what? So yes, if you are thinking of buying or selling a home, the Dan Gemus team would love to help. And who would want Shawn or Sue or Kath or Court out, to say hello and see what's
We
happening?
always love coming out, meeting new people,
Yes.
and
We're
helping you out
actually
with
pretty
your
fun.
market eval.
Yeah,
We have a
pretty
lot
fun.
of fun out
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do, and sometimes we work, right?
Sometimes we work.
Doesn't
We
feel
have
like
to.
work
No.
when you're having fun.
But if you are thinking of selling and you want an evaluation to see what the possibilities are, then the Dan Gemus team would love to come out and say hello and explain how we do things, which is different than everyone else, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
You can find more information on our website, dangemus.com. That's DANGEMUS.com. You can call us 7 days a week, 519-566-5565. And heck, you'll even meet Andrew when he comes out to do the videos and pictures. And
Yep.
That's
If you
Appointment
get that
basis.
desperate, you
Highlight.
even get to meet me.
yes,
Incredible value.
incredible value.
Excellent value for money. That's going to be on my gravestone.
Yes.
Excellent value for money.
Yep. There you go. Perfect. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. We will see you next Sunday. Thanks for coming, everybody. See y'all.
Have a good day.
See ya.
You've been listening to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, an advertising feature on AM 800. If you've thought about selling or buying a home in the future, the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team would love to help. Visit the team's website at dangemus.com or call the office 7 days a week, 519-566-5565.